10 से 12 और 2 से 4.
So only difference in the classification and regression is that we are able to classify the data when there is discrete values, and we use the regression when we are working with the continuous values. So let's talk about what is prediction. So prediction is sometimes similar with classification and sometimes it is different from the classification. How it is similar? When you are working with the numerical data, it's very similar to the classification. You construct a model, you just predict the values in an ordered way by giving the kind of input, and you just predict the output value by using that model. Okay. But sometimes the prediction is different. How it is different? Because classification refers to predicting into the categorical class level usually. Okay. And in the prediction, we work with the continuous valued functions. Continuous valued functions are those functions in which a kind of ordering is there. Like there is not a abrupt change is not there into the data set. So the data set X changes slightly from one point to another point, and where we make the predictions by using the previous values or the previous correlations, and we are predicting the new one. So one of the major method for predicting prediction is your regression. So what is the purpose of regression? In the regression, we are trying to model between the independent and dependent variable. So we have one or more independent variable. By using the value of independent variables, we are calculating the value of dependent variable. Okay, so model is basically work upon your independent values. It use your independent values and predicting the value of dependent. Independent values are also called predictor variables, and dependent variable is sometimes called response variable. So any of the terms can be used. So we have so many types of regression like linear, multiple regression, non-linear regression, and other methods are generalized linear model, Poisson regression, log linear regression, and regression trees, etc. So depending upon the applications, we use which type of regression is suitable to us. Okay, so we'll talk about basic general idea about all of these regression, in which situations these are used, like this. So this is basically one equation in which you that equation is called your linear regression, which involve a response variable v and a single predictor. Single predictor means there is only one independent variable, and on the basis of this independent variable x, we are predicting the value of y. Okay, so some of the parameters are used. So if you look at this, there is an equation of a straight line w naught plus w naught omega naught is like omega naught plus omega naught 1x. So this is an equation of linear regression where w naught denotes your y-intercepts and w1 denotes your slope of the regression coefficients. Okay, so then we have the method of least square to basically estimate the best fitted line, and this can be used by using these two coefficients, and the formula for these two coefficients are this. Here basically w1 is calculated between the ratio of the covariance and your variance, and w0 is similarly y bar minus w1 bar, where y bar and x bar are basically your mean values. Okay, so similarly, if you extend this equation into multiple values, like multiple predictors, x values are increased, then we are just extending these equations to the second dimension data, and then the equation will become y equal to omega naught 1 plus omega naught 1 x1 and omega naught 2 x2. Okay, and this is based upon the combinations of your input data, where x1 is generating the value y1, x2 is generating the value y2, and xd is generating the value of yd. So these are basically n-dimensional data, and when you are working with two-dimensional data, only two independent variables. So to extend this equation to multi dimensions, if there are multiple linear equations, the equation can be represented into polynomial forms also. Okay. So this can be solved by the extension of your least square method. Similarly, as we are calculating the W1 and W2, W0, similarly, we can calculate the omega-2 values also by extending it. Some non-linear function can be used to transform the above equations. Like in the non-linear equations, you can convert the polynomial equations model into the linear form. So polynomial equations, suppose you are working with three-dimensional data and your polynomial equation can be denoted as y is equals to w naught plus w1x plus w2x square, then w3x3. So what we are doing, we are converting the nth degree polynomial equations to the linear form. So what we have to remove, we have to remove x squared to x2 and x3 to x cubed to x3. Okay, so after the conversion, the equation will look like in this form, and this is a kind of a linear regression equation of three-dimensional data. Here the data is three-dimensional, like W0 plus
What
W.
are the documents I need to upload while applying for CAT online application form? Majorly 3 documents होते हैं, passport size photo, मैंने उनका format और size specify कर दिया है.
So what we are doing here, we are just converting the polynomial regression into the linear ones, and we just convert this polynomial equation to the linear equation. Okay. So similarly, what we are using, we are just extending your least square estimation to calculate all these parameters. So this is basically a representation of your linear model. Here, if you look at the data, then this is the very same equation. Apart from W naught, beta naught is used here. So y is equals to beta naught plus beta 1x plus eta. Okay, so this is eta is basically represent your error. E, you can say small e sometimes used, sometimes eta is used. So these are your error terms, and error terms are basically the difference between observed value of y for a particular x and the predicted value of y. So this is a linear line equation. So if you fit a linear line equation in a given data, so this is the given data where every point is a combination of two values. Like for every given xi, there is a corresponding yi value. So by using the combination of xn and yi, you can represent these dot points. Okay. So to representing these dot points, we try to fit a linear regression line here. Okay, so that blue line is your linear regression line, and the equation is y is equals to b naught plus b1x and eta naught. So that beta naught is your intercept where this line cuts the y-axis. This is called your intercept value. Then there is a slope. B1 represent your slope. So in this simple regression line, will have different kind of values. Like the first one is a yi value. This is the estimated or the predicted y value, which we have to predict it. And these are the predefined two coefficients whose values will be calculated from the training data. Suppose you calculated W0 and W1. W0 is your intercepts and W1 is your regression slope, and x is your independent variable. Here the EI is not considered. It means there is error terms is considered to be 0 here. And then W0 and W1 are obtained by minimizing the sum of the residual error. So this is the residual error. How we calculate the E? We can calculate the E by taking the difference of the actual y minus the predicted y. Y cap represent your predicted y. Okay. So this will take the difference between these two. So this one can be represented by the value of the linear line, that is this y cap will be replaced with W naught plus W1x. This is a linear line equation. So finding the y cap. So we'll take the difference of 2 and we'll do the whole square to calculate the sum of square error. So by using this formulas, we can calculate W1 and W0, and these values comes out to be this. This is the
Ma'am?
difference. Yes.
Ma'am, what is X bar and Y bar? X minus X bar, Y
X
minus Y
is
bar?
your X bar is the mean value of X. So we have so many X values that, like suppose you have the training set in which 4 combinations of X1 and Y1 are
Okay, ma'am.
present.
Okay, ma'am, I was confused with the bar. Okay, okay, ma'am.
Okay, so
Thank
these are the mean values, and these X are the actual values, and this Y is the actual value. Okay, so these are the pair combinations. So we'll taking the summation of these. So like 4 values are present, so we'll take this difference of actual X with the mean of the X. Okay, and then later on we'll multiply it and take the summations for all the 4 points. Okay, so similarly here we are taking the difference of X with the mean of the X, and we're taking the whole square. So just by dividing, we can calculate W1 and W0. These are actually, if you represent it, na, so these are the covariance divided by the variance of the X. So what we mean by the variance, these are basically show the how the X is varies like that. So if you're talking about any general form of the linear equations, so general form of the linear equation for nth dimensional data can be goes up to D, where your capital X contain the value from x1 to xn, n dimensional X values, and similarly we have the corresponding Y values with us. Okay, so by using this X and Y combination, we can generate an equation of the line. Okay. So this is the line equation W0, W1, X1, WD, XT. So suppose you have one dimensional data. Okay. So in the one dimensional data, what happened? You can segregate the data by using a straight line. Okay. But if you have the 2 dimensional data, then you need to use a plane. And similarly, if you are working with n dimensional data, where you need a hyperplane to basically divide the data into proper points. Actually, what the regression model is doing, suppose you are plotting your data into the hyperplane. So hyperplane is nothing but the X and Y axis. Okay, so you have the X and Y corresponding axis. Suppose X and Y axis, now you have to calculate what will be the value of X n plus 1 is given to you, and you need to calculate Y n plus value. So by using the values from x1 to xn to predict the value of yn. Okay, so for that we are fitting the straight line for that. Okay, so because the values is a combination of only it's a one dimensional data. So as the dimensionality of the data increases, we cannot fit the straight line. For that purpose, you need a plane, then you need a hyperplane. If you look at this equation which is given here, x naught, w naught, w1, y1, and wd, yd. So x1 here is x1, but x2 here will be the second degree term. Then x3 will be the third degree term. So it's kind of polynomial terms. We are just representing with x1, x2, x3, but these are the polynomial terms. And to separate these polynomial or to effectively fit a particular mathematical model, we have to use the hyperplane of that degree. Okay. So there is a sum of least square generalization, because if you are working with n square data, so you have to make a general least square method to generate the parameters. Okay. So what is the least simple least square? It's just simply a division is just basically the subtraction between the 2 points. One is the predicted y and another one is the actual y. Okay. Predicted y is given to you, and the actual y is given to you, and the predicted one will be lie on the hyperplane which you are trying to fit into the model. Okay, so you will take these difference, and this is your error terms. Okay, so here we are taking the difference SSE. Difference is yj is your actual y, and we are taking the difference from the predicted y. And to predict the y, we have to take the equation of the linear line. Okay, and we generalize it from j to n. Okay, because there are nth degree terms, so that's why we are taking the summation of every point difference of predicted output and the actual output. Is it clear to everyone what I'm trying to talk about?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, are you able to visualize what I am trying to talk about? Because the diagram of the straight line is given to you, but you try to just visualize it to nth degree plane. So nth degree, in the nth degree plane, what we are doing, we just generalizing this equation. This linear line equation is generalized, and we are taking the summation up to the nth order. So this is like that. Okay, so for the beta, it's like covariance, the same formula is there, which is we previously defined. Covariance x comma y is simply this formula. Okay, x minus x bar into y minus y bar. And it is divided by variance of the x. Variance of the x means whole square of the difference of x to their mean values. And alpha is, they can be defined by the y bar minus b dot x bar. So these two are the same formulas which is previously given. Only W naught and W1 is not used. In place of that, we have used alpha and beta terms. So any terms can be used to represent your regression parameters, but the formula remains the same. So here we are, that one is given for the one dimensional, and here we are driving it for the nth dimension. Okay, so we simply notation the derivation change to alpha to beta naught, and we add a new feature x naught is equals to 1 to feature x. So equation will be increased to your nth degree. Okay, so these are degree which is now included. So the first term is remain as such, which is beta naught into x naught, and x naught is considered to be 1. So this is the first parameter, and then we have the number of the parameter like beta I, then when I is equals to 1, then it represents beta 1, then beta 2, then beta 3, and this term will goes up to d-dimensional. Okay, so to represent this, we just simply do as a bold beta into x. Okay, so it's a representation of your multi-dimensional data. And for that, there is only a single difference. In place of taking the difference of single linear line, we are taking the difference of this nth dimensional point, nth dimensional line. And that will represent from I to D, bi dot xi. And if you solve this equation, that comes to be y minus capital X B transpose dot y x B transpose. So we'll have the derivation also for this. So if you want to discuss this derivation, I can tell you. In Bayesian functions, we'll also discuss these types of variations. These types of explanations, like how to solve this. And then for nth dimensions, the calculated parameter value, okay, formula is x transpose x inverse x transpose into y. So where y is the vector of all the training responses of the yj, and capital X represent your matrix of all the training samples of xj. The same thing is written here. We can change original quantitative input, and we can use a log kind of transformations like log, exponential, square root, and all these. And this is the example of the polynomial and given, and we just convert it into the normal linear equations, and then we'll solve this. So if you look at this equation which is given here, so y equals to xw, and the equation of nth degree is given w naught, w1x, w2x square up to wm(xm). So we can say m dimensional data is there, and lastly we'll take a summation of this, which start from 0, j is equals to 0 to m, wj xj. So this is the data, and this is the polynomial curve, which is the mth degree polynomial curve which fits your data. Okay, and so what is basically your sum of squares of residuals here? So you just put a perpendicular lines on the fitted curves, and that perpendicular lines is your sum of the squares, sum of the squares of the error. Okay. So actually there is a complex model because of overfitting. If you look at the data, is trying to fit every value in the data because m values are present, and we have taken the mth degree polynomial equations to fit all the values. So obviously this curve will very much exactly fit to the training data which is available with us. So if you look at the diagram, it's quite close to the training data which is available. That's why the model become very complex, and the calculated parameters are also the calculation is increased here because the mth degree polynomial is used. Okay, so to solve these kind of problems, variations are used, and these variations are known as L2 regularization and L1 regularization. In both the cases, what happened, there is a cost term included. Okay, and that cost terms are basically your there are two different cost terms which is included in the ridge regression as well as in the lasso regressions. So what is the difference between two cost terms? So lambda is used as a constraint. Okay, and it is multiplied with the summations of bi whole square, like it is the square of the magnitude of the coefficient. So what is the coefficient here? The regression coefficient is bi, and this is from I, from start from I2 and goes to D only, like beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 up to beta D. Similarly, what we do here, we'll take all the coefficients value and we square it and take the summations and multiply it with the constraint lambda. So this is a ridge regression which remove the complexity of the model. Similarly, in the lasso regression, what happened? One more cost term is included, but that is not the square of the magnitude of the coefficient. This is a bar of the magnitude of the coefficient. So similarly, the summations are done and we just multiplied with the constant term, and that will be added to your equation of the nth degree polynomial regression. So this actually helps in solve your complexity and overfitting problem. So suppose this is your one-dimensional plot. So if you want to fit a straight line, so this is the straight line. So one-dimensional fitted straight line. Then if we increase the dimensions, so we'll have a curve here. Like blue lines is a two-dimensional curve which is going to fit the data. And then red line will show your three-dimensional curve. And the D is equals to 50. The 50th dimensional curve is like this. Okay. So this is a kind of ridge and lasso regression line from this. The blue line is also that. The one is you just use a linear line functions, you fit it, and the remaining data fit by another term. Then we have the generalized linear model. In the generalized linear model, what happened? It's work on the categorical responses of the data. Like the foundation of which linear regression can be applied to modeling the categorical response of variable. For that, the variance of y is the function of the mean value of y and not a constant. So for that, we'll use the logistic regression and the Poisson regression. We can use a log regression model and the regression tree and model tree. So it depends upon the data distribution for that. Suppose you have the categorical data with you, then you can use the log linear model for that. And suppose if you want to categorize into the class level, then the regression trees model. The CART is the very good example for regression trees. Classification and regression trees, CART. Whenever there is a Poisson distribution, then we use the Poisson regression also. So it is also given here, the regression tree. So its CART is basically your classification and regression tree. It is used for the continuous valued predictions. So here you are doing the classification as well as the regression task. You are predicting the values which is in the continuous forms. One more example of model is tree regression, and it is proposed by Quinlan. And here the structure is in the form of tree. Okay, so these are the extension of the basic regression. Like some terms are added to it and will have a new form of the regression. There are so many types of regression are feasible in today's scenario. So after calculating the regression, whether the model is accurate or not, for that you have to check for the accuracy. And to check the accuracy, what we need some matrices, metrics to check the accuracy. And for that purpose, the mean absolute error or the square mean, root mean square error are the methods to check the values for how good your prediction is. Like if you predicted the value, like predicted y is in front of you and actual y from the test data is available to you, you just take the difference between these two and divide it by the n. This will give you mean absolute error. Okay, and then there is a square root mean square error, which is the same difference of actual and predicted values, but we are taking the squares of each error terms, adding it divided by the total number of terms, and we'll take the square root of that. So that is your root mean square error. Okay. So these two are the most used metrics. Apart from that, there are percentage error also, mean absolute percentage errors, and there are many other methods also. In statistics, there are R square, T matrix, Z matrix. These matrices are also used to check the accuracy of your models. So it depends upon your application and for the fitted model, which method will be used first. So as a summary, great difference between the regression and classification algorithm are those, because regressions are used for the predicting the continuous values like the price, salaries, age, etc. Because these are very arranged in an ordered manner. So we have to use a regression for that, and the classification has a different task because it is classifying the data into discrete values like male, female, true, false, spam, not spam, like this. We have the different class level, which is not in ordered form. Okay. So if by choosing your data set and relevant model, you have to be careful for that, in which type of application it is lying and which model you should choose. Actually, in what happened, we take the data set and we try to fit lots of model, and we just compare the result by using the error terms, and those who are having the less error terms, we use just those model and say that this is particularly suitable for that. Unless and until you are not modifying a particular algorithm, you can implement lots of algorithms because lots of automated functions are available. So you need not to go into the mathematics, you just use